Good evening. This is January 23rd, 2016. I just wanted to do another video on price level identification. I'm taking everything off the charts. I'm stripping it down to just price action. You're seeing all the candles over the last month or so since January 5th. And I took off the moving averages, I took off the stochastic, all the indicators and whatnot, and we're just looking at price action. And what I'm finding over the last few weeks is that really this is all we need to trade effectively and make a consistent profit. So first thing we need to identify is where are the support and resistance levels. And we've gone over a few videos now on that, and hopefully this would be we can add this to the archive of finding resistance levels. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is take you up here to the candle. Instead of using candles, we're going to use a line on close. Line on close is basically a line chart that really helps identify pivot points, and you're going to see that in a second. So I just converted those candles into pivot points. That was into a line chart. That's step number one. This allows you to see the line on close, so the tops and the very bottoms of those candles. Sometimes the candles can be hard to visualize. All right, that's the first step. Go to the line chart. Convert your chart to a line chart. And as you can see right now, it just looks like a squiggly line going downhill, but we're going to be able to, you're going to see in a minute how these levels will pop out at you. Second thing we're going to do is take a ellipse, and we're going to mark the tops and the bottoms, the pivot points on the chart. Okay, so like here, here's a pivot, the highs and lows. Here's a clear pivot point, and they had to be relatively clear pivot points. Okay, there's one. Here's one. That's a high. Here's a low. Looks like this is a high. These are pivot point lows right here. This is definitely a high there. And it looks like this is a couple pivot points here, here, and here. All right. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to do. Identify the pivot points on the chart where the highs and the lows that are obvious and clear. The second thing we're going to do is take the horizontal line tool and connect these pivot points. So I'm going to grab the horizontal line tool, and we're going to connect those like so, like this. So I took these two here, and remember, it's not necessarily perfect. Okay, we're not dealing with a perfect scenario here, but we want to connect as much of those locations as possible. And sometimes we have to err on the side of, you know, there's some error, there's a margin of error there. Okay, so like so. There's another small right in there, right? Connecting these three. Excuse me. All right, we're going to connect these. You see how these are coming here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here, I actually connected 4 of them. And here we connecting 1, 2, 3, and of course the bottom 2 right there. Okay, so now we've connected all horizontal lines, and what you kind of should start seeing is that these are actually where the support and resistance levels are, right? I mean, support, you can see support here, resistance, support. Support was broken here, and it became resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, etc., etc. There's another small one. There might be another small zone right there. I'm sorry, another level right there. We'll delineate the difference between levels and zones in a minute. Okay, so we have everybody connected. All right, now let's take off these bubbles. We're going to remove those bubbles. Remove the ellipse. Okay, and now what we're going to do is connect some of the highs and lows. All right, so in other words, I'm going here and connecting the tops and the bottoms with a line tool. Okay, like so. Some of these tops here, 1, 2, and I'm connecting some of these bottoms here, 1, 2, 3, in this area. And right here. Now, what is this doing? What use does that play? Well, we'll get into that in a bit, but I'm going to take these off just for simplicity's sake. All right. So remember, this is my 60-minute chart, and I'm using it to first identify where the support and resistance levels are. And this is really important because it tells you where you are in the trend. This is a longer video, by the way. I'm using a different software package. It tells you where you are in the trend. It allows you to predict where possible entries could be, and where you could go, where your profit targets would be. Okay, very important to do this first. And when we look at the smaller time frames, you'll see why. All right, I'm going to connect these bottoms now here, like so. All right, so that's our 60-minute chart, line chart. You can always convert it back to a candlestick, like so. You know, once you got your levels figured out, and these are very precise levels, and you can see it when, you know, in several examples, like where the price comes right back up to that same level and sells off, right back up to that same level, sells off. Where this was support, you know, right at this trade, that was resistance, you know, and you could have captured, very easily captured this whole entire move right there. That would have been a, you know, that would have been a $3.74 move, which is $3,740 if you captured that whole move. So let me show you what this trend here looks like on a 5-minute, on a 15-minute chart. So we completed the steps of identifying the trends on the 60 minute. Now we're going to go down to a lower time frame and see if we can look at some of the possible entries in this trend, this up move. Okay, this is our 15-minute chart, and you're looking at the up move that I just showed you. Only I have it on I have this on a line chart. I'm gonna take this to a candlestick chart. Okay. So as you can see, you know, we're playing a game of supply and resistance, and when you know where those levels are, you know where institutions, banks, big players are placing their money, and you just, you know, you move in, you move with them basically. This was a trade taken on the 21st. I think I actually got that trade, that entry here, where obviously we had a resistance level, a previous support, and then here we're respecting the same support level. Yeah, I did get that one. How did I get into that trade? Well, right at the top of this level here, previous close was acting as resistance all morning, and then right at this candle here, right at that candle there, that's when resistance at this level was broken, and you can see how there was some selling activity here, and they came back and retested that level, and what resistance became support. Okay, so that is the breakthrough candle, and then they always, 90% of the time, they come back and they want to retest this level. And so what we'll do is we'll look at what this looks like on the lower time frame, on the 5-minute chart. This is a very large candle. You would have had to risk a whole lot to get into that trade. But on a 5-minute time frame, let's look at that. Okay. Okay, this is the line chart. On a 5-minute, we're going to convert it to a candlestick chart, and you can see on the 5-minute, still was a pretty large candle, moved a great deal in 5 minutes, but you could have scaled into it. Maybe on the 1 minute you wouldn't have had to take so much risk, but you are entering at the breakthrough and retest, a continuation, because your thinking is, hey, if this is resistance, this is the breakthrough, now this is support, and after you see a candle that you like that doesn't, you know, risk a whole lot, you can take that trade. If you didn't want to risk a whole lot there, you could have waited till we broke through another level. See, breakthrough. This red candle is the retest of this resistance, and then this one would have been the candle that you bought on to make the rest of the move. So I hope you you know, that gave you an idea of where we start and how we get to our levels, the concept of levels, and which allows you to understand direction and where to place your trade, and potentially even where to get out of the trade. So hope this was helpful for you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.